It's been a minute. I've seen you guys again. I didn't know you guys came in. I didn't hear you. You guys must have been pretty quiet. Um, what a year it's been. We're out of COVID for the most part. A little review here. This is the 2023 fantasy baseball draft video. If you guys weren't aware, I think we all are at this point. I think we all are here for a reason, and that is to figure out the next, I don't know, 6 months of our lives. What is going to be fantasy-wise implications, as they say, the big word. It's March 5th, 4:34. A lot of people would say this is the road to WrestleMania, as some would say. That's how I liked it this time of the year, kind of the dead time in sports, but you still got the big show coming up, the 2-day event in April. We're all looking forward to that. Who isn't? Back to the, I have some ideas. I'm going to change it up slightly this year. For the most part, we all know, this is a video. I'm not going to try to make it all long. I know some people might want to rant and they might want to go off, and I keep things pretty tight ship. I run a pretty tight ship around here. As a commissioner of this league, I don't want to have this video take too long. I know we're all doing a lot of things today. It's a Sunday. It was a nice day. Now it's kind of crappy. So I don't want to take up a lot of your time, of course. Everybody's time is valuable. There's kids running around. There's wives. There's me making putts on my putting mat. But hey, regardless, we all got things to do today. I might throw a pizza in. Things get pretty wild. It's getting pretty wild Sunday. So I'll keep it short, but this is what I'm going to do this year. I want to do a little, I'm going to give everybody a grade from last year. I know it's a little different. I know I've somewhat kind of done that in the past, but I'm going to go down the list, make it real quick. But I'm also going to give a fun fact to bring this group a little bit closer. I know some of us have been around each other for too much, and some of us, it's kind of new still. We might not know each other all that well for the most part. But so a little fun fact about each one of us. Kind of keep it a little loose. I know it's a PG show. I like to have the kids watch. I like to, be a family man, even though I don't have a family. But my Patreon page and my OnlyFans page, you can find the good stuff. If you want to subscribe, pay me some money, I'll take it. That's how we do it. What happens on the OnlyFans page stays there. But hey, right, blind. But anyways, I'm gonna go set the list. I'm gonna make it real quick. I don't want to take a lot of your time. So first off, I'm gonna start with the big guy, Christopher Ryan Tooney. I'm gonna give him a grade from last year as a B+. And I know he took last place, but here's why I like it. Because he went from first to last, which, hey, go big or go home, right, Tooney? But he also had a lot of good trades for picks. So therefore, I'm bumping him up a little bit to a B. I know he took last. He had a terrible year. Team was terrible. A lot of old guys ravaged by injury. That's what the grade I'm going to give Christopher Ryan. As a fun fact for Christopher Ryan, now we dispute this, I believe, but the first time I ever saw Tooney in person was like in fourth grade recess, and he was wearing a Philadelphia Eagles starter jacket. So I've always thought of him as being a huge Eagles fan. And I'm pretty sure he tells me he's never owned an Eagles jacket, but I know he did because I saw him that day in like third or fourth grade, whatever day he came over to my school. I ran that ship. I ran Greenhaven with an iron fist, much like this league. And he came in, he thought he was going to walk all over us. We put him right in his place, beat him up a little bit on the playground. But he was wearing an Eagles jersey, and so I'll forever say he's an Eagles fan. So he had a rough Super Bowl. I know he was really invested in it. He's probably going to buy another Eagles starter jacket, but they lost. So, he's a big Jalen Hurts fan, we can say. Okay, moving on. Newman. I'm going to give him a grade as a B-. Because he had a pretty awful, his team was terrible too. But he also got picks. Big, important. You'll see coming up soon, some people did not do that and knocked him down a grade level. But he got some picks. He also had Jeremy Pena, which I don't know if you guys have seen him. He's huge. So Newman, and celebrate him while you can, because he's going to get busted for steroids, just like my boy did, and get a couple of good weeks out of him and then trade him, because that guy is way too big to be natural right now. No chance. So, fun fact about Newman, though. He loves when people say, "Hello, Newman," and especially a guy from high school. I'm not going to say any names. I'm not going to go there. But there's a specific guy from high school. He used to say it, and Newman would love when he said it. Let's put it that way. So that's his fun fact. Everybody, when you see Newman next time, I know he can't be at the draft, but say, "Hello, Newman." Okay, moving on. Modich. Oh, drop my pen. Modich. I'm going to give him a grade F+. And I'm going to explain why in a second. He had $74 left and he didn't make any trades. So what were you doing, Morish? What did you do all summer? Did you just sit there, think your team's gonna get good, and like just, oh yeah, I'm not gonna do anything, and that'd just be terrible. Just you're an embarrassment to fantasy baseball last year, Morish. And maybe you'll step it up this year. Maybe you just had a bad year, but it's becoming a trend. It's becoming a trend, Morish, and I'm a little worried about you having just terrible teams and terrible efforts in a terrible city with a terrible stadium with terrible fans and a terrible team. But a fun fact about Morish. So I believe this is like, I think it was in December. I'm not sure, but he went down to Disney World with his family. His kids wanted to go, so he brought his family down there. I think like Niffins went, and maybe even Clefman and his kids might have went too. But they all went down there, and this is a true story. They're walking around, and for some reason, Moach is in like Magic Kingdom or whatever. They go, I don't know what's down there. I never go to Disney World, but he's down there wandering away from his family, so like he's not near him. Little tipsy. And this Disneyland worker comes up and she goes, "Oh my gosh, like I've never seen you without your mask on, and or without your outfit on." And he goes, obviously Mosh is confused. He's like, "What are you talking about?" And she goes, "Oh," this little old woman goes, "Oh, I thought you were Goofy. You walk just like him." And he was like, well, "I'm not Goofy." But I see her point, because if you look at Moshe, like walk through a room, looks just like a Goofy with his character with his big hat on, and Moshe's head's kind of big, so he looks like Goofy kind of. So I understand where she was coming from. He was confused, but they cleared it all up. He was, of course, he got all like, and I'm not Goofy, because that's how Moshe talks when you like anger him, and then he was confused and like walked away from this little old woman who's just trying to be nice, kind of guy he is. So that's why you got once more an F. I think you are the only F, but I gave you an F plus. All right, moving on. BJ, A plus. I'm gonna tell you why. You're terrible too. Your team is usually bad, but like your team was bad again, but I'm gonna give you an A plus because you got the first and second round draft picks, I believe, from Turd Bowl. Turd Bowl's not very smart, so way to take advantage of him, because Turd Bowl does not know really what trades means. He throws a lot of offers. He'll cut like all stars. Usually Dave picks him up. That's kind of his natural progression of like the year. You'll get panicked, you'll trade and whatever. He did not win the league, and he did not win the regular season, so say what you want. Good job by you though, BJ, for taking advantage of him, because somebody had to, and it's usually not me, because he doesn't want to trade with me. He wants to trade with Dave, and apparently you. So well played. Fun fact about BJ though, his favorite musician, R. Kelly, and it's gotten to a point where like he still like his alarm clock is Ignition, the remix to Ignition, not the normal one, but the remix. And it's kind of like, man, like he's done a lot of bad things at this point. Like he's going to be in jail for probably the rest of his life. It's time to kind of move on there, BJ. Like I know he has some good songs. That Michael Jordan, whatever song that was, I believe I Can Fly song, banger. Ignition, pretty good. Don't get me wrong. He had made that one CD, Dave, what is it? That one with Jay-Z, Best of Both Worlds. During the UC, we banged. That CD was revolutionary, because that was like the first time they ever heard it happen. Anyways, BJ, it's kind of we can find some other musicians. All right, I understand he's got a great history. I gotta tell you, I don't think he's got any good music coming out in the future, because it's gonna be in a little trouble. All right, moving on. Carnsey, I'm gonna give you a B. You once again missed the playoffs. Shocker. But you were only 33 games back first, so that's pretty good. I feel like you did well. For you, we just need baby steps. Eventually, we're going to get closer to the playoffs, and then like you're going to get in. But I did look at your keepers, and you're probably not going to get in this year. So I'm sorry to break that to you, but it's not looking pretty already. But you did well last year for a Carnes team or a Goose team, either one. Your fun fact about Brandon Willard Carnes is that he would regularly, like not just like once in a while, but regularly cry when Shawn Michaels' song would hit and he'd come in the ring. And it was kind of getting embarrassing, like especially in like 10th grade. It was like, dude, like, yeah, he's the Heartbreak Kid, but it's like he was in like DX too, but it was kind of like, yeah, like fifth, fourth grade, yeah. And I think he still might get a little teary-eyed. That's the problem, I think. Like he has like a weird obsession with the HBK. And yeah, he's got some sweet chin music, don't get me wrong, but it's you get a little too emotional, Carnes, and I think it's getting a little uncomfortable for the rest of us. But I'm not gonna tell you how to feel. I mean, that's comes from in here, comes from your heart. So you just keep doing you, bud, and I'm with you. But regardless of whether you keep crying about him or not, I got your back. Okay, moving on. Miller, I'm gonna give you not. I'm gonna give you like I had C plus right now, and I think I'm gonna go C minus. You didn't make the playoffs and you didn't make any moves. So like, what were you doing? Like, you kind of have to make a choice, and like being the first player out of the playoffs, it doesn't help. You need to either tank and get some picks or try to make the playoffs. And I know you were in a tough spot all year, like you were in that middle area. We have many talks, many heart to hearts about it, but sometimes you just gotta make a move, and you didn't make any, and you sat there. It's kind of like Minnesota sports teams do for all these years. We don't really do anything, and you just kind of tread water, and you get like the 14th pick in the draft, and you don't get anyone well. So that's kind of what you did last year. Very similar. That's why I didn't give you a grade. All right, I'll just be honest. You're learning. It's the second year. This coming up third year. They say the third year in fantasy baseball is kind of when you make or break it, and we're gonna find out because America's team's got a lot of pressure on them now, and the fan base is getting a little antsy there. They had a good first year, bad second year, and the third year, let's see what happens, huh? So everybody's waiting to see what's gonna happen. Your fun fact. I was going back and forth about what I could put here, but I think he wants to really see a Bigfoot, and we all do. I get it, and I'm with him. We talk about it often, but like eventually, I think we either have to go on an expedition, Miller, and just try to find one, or we can't keep doing this. I mean, we send videos, we see them, and we all know the Bigfoot's out there, but I think you need to find him and be done with this because it's getting to an obsession level, and you either got to go on it, kind of like with your draft picks, you got to go all in. We're going all in with Bigfoot, and you're just getting on all the message boards, you're doing everything, or you're just never going to see one. And I think that's the crossroads we're at. But anyways, that's my fun fact about Miller. I mean, I think we all knew that. It's not like anything major new. Okay. Let's move on to the people who made the playoffs. As you've noticed, I have not been named yet, so looks like I made the playoffs last year. So who knew? Alberto. I'm gonna give him a B because he made the playoffs, and I'm very proud of you, Alberto. They said you couldn't do it, and you hung in there, and you didn't have a great year, but you hung in there just enough. You battled, and you made the playoffs. So hey, you had a swinging chance. So that's all I can ask. Your fun fact about Alberto is that no one believes this, and I didn't believe it either. I had to get proof. I got written proof of this actually happening. When he was 22 years old, he had a 16-inch vertical leap. And I know the NFL draft combine's going on right now, so you think like you look at Alberto now, like that MCL is getting just popped if he tries that right now. But I swear this happened. He jumped 16 inches when he was 22. I know, pretty impressive. So I think you could still do it, Alberto, but I think you could get up the coming back down part. But that's going to be the tricky part. All right, moving on to R squared or Ryan Richards. I give him a B just because he just had a whole hum, like fifth place, whatever finish. Like it was just kind of like like didn't do anything crazy, just kind of plugged along all year, just hung in there, but didn't really have a great team, but didn't have a terrible team, just kind of let's go as a B. I don't know, you could almost go B minus, but I'll go B just because I like him. So that's my grade for him. The fun fact about Ryan Richards is that he once got kicked out of a bar that we were at because while he had a mouthful of marshmallows, and I'm not gonna. It was one of the greatest days of our lives. Watching him get kicked out of that bar. I mean, I'm glad you turned that page around. We don't want that Ryan coming back ever again. But like, it's still like I can see that whole thing happening when you get the marshmallows in your mouth, and then like when you later got kicked out of Grandma's. Just fantastic day overall by you. I'm just really proud of you that day. All right, so Bo, moving on. B plus. Because sometimes your team sucks and sometimes it's okay. So last year it was okay. I beat you in the playoffs, no big deal. But like you B plus, solid team. Like I think if I remember correctly, you were pretty low for a while. Then your team kind of caught fire and kind of came out of nowhere. So I'm proud of you for battling. You didn't give up on the year. I don't know how you draft so terrible, but like at the end of the year, like your team's right there. So good job, B plus. Fun fact about Bo is that like 3 weeks ago we were in Minneapolis. We all thought we saw you. Like you were 2 tables over, and Dave was like, "Is that Bo?" And I was like, he had a backwards hat, white backwards hat, like same kind of scruff that you have, and he was eating a hamburger just like you eat a hamburger, like exactly the same way. And it was like, I think that's Bo. And so we had to like look at you or the doppelganger you, and we found out it came to the conclusion it was not you, which kind of surprised all of us. But yeah, like. That's a fun fact because we thought you saw you, but it wasn't you. So there you go. Moving on. Me. I took third, and I gave myself an A plus plus plus. That's 3 pluses if you guys are keeping track at home. I have 3 words for those 3 pluses. And that is Fernando Tatis Jr. I think we all know what happened last year. I had him on my team, and I couldn't even play him or bench him or cut him, or he just sat there taking up a spot, doing nothing for me. So it's a big year. He's got to come back and prove me. He owes me a lot, and I don't care about anyone else, but he owes me a little something. But anyways, enough about me. I will give you a fun fact here's my fun fact. I just watched arguably the worst show in the history of like television. It's called Outer Banks, and I know I'm not the target audience for this. I get it. I'm not. It's not for me. It's not for like a 30-something-year-old man. But if you haven't seen the show, I can't describe the show to you if you have never like seen it or like, but it's basically like the Goonies, in a very loose term, and then like wrapped up with like kind of like the Fast and Furious. And if you know anything about me, I love Fast and Furious and like Scream and all those like terrible movies. And I can't. The show is so dumb. These teenagers, they're like 30 years old in real life, but they're teenagers in the show. They do this treasure hunting, and they go and they find this gold, and then like the dads will die, they'll get like shot, and their bullets will blow up. They're in the Outer Banks of like South Carolina or whatever, and somehow they don't die, and they just keep coming back. And I don't understand what's going on. These kids. They're like gone. They're running from the law. They literally are shooting people. The girl got shot once, like in the stomach. Just went to a house, got it fixed. Like no big deal. She's back out there running from like these drug mule people, and then they were like back in like chemistry class the next day, and it's so dumb. And they're on an island. And like they'll be like, don't come back to the island. The cops will find you. And then they're hiding on the island. How this island is not that big, but still like they can just kind of hang out. They don't even know. And then there's a part where like the dad's like a billionaire, but he's like a bad guy. But he has a private plane, and the private plane's sitting on the island. Like this airport's, there's 2 planes there. The cops are like, well, who knew he was here? Like I knew because the one private plane is sitting there. It's just. They're the dumbest cops ever, but then they try to be all smart, and then the kids will like run drugs for these other people, and they'll lose all these drugs, and the drug dealer will be like, oh, it's okay, we'll figure something else out. Like, no, that would never happen. And then they go back to class. They're like, well, and then the premise of the show is like the island's like split into 2. There's like the rich people and the poor people, and then they like never talk. They're not supposed to like ever interact. But of course, these kids like become friends and they interact, and then they become like tight friends. But then they go search for this gold. And this is this 3rd season, and I've watched every episode. And every time I think they can't get any dumber, and it just does, and it blows my mind. They keep finding more and more gold or treasures, and they're making another season, I think, and I don't even know how because they're running. There's no more gold. They found it all. Yet these kids are still going to school. Like, oh, I have to go to chemistry class tomorrow. Oh, but my friend is rich, so I can't go over to their house because I'm a poor person. Like it's the dumbest show, but John B, the main character, I don't know what his real name is, but John B probably has the best hair in the history of television. And you're like, yeah, like he's got great hair. And in real life, I've done some research. In real life, he's dating like the main girl. The main girl is 25 years old, so I can say this. Smoke show. And then like, the other people, everybody's good looking. So like you're just like, what is happening right now? But the premise of them like searching for this gold and then like getting private flights that nobody knows about. They're just flying to like, I don't know, some other South American country looking for this gold. If you haven't seen it, I would recommend it because you need to see how dumb the show is. But I'll watch season 4. I'll admit it. Anyways, moving on. Blaine, I'm giving you a D. You know why I'm giving you a D? Basically for one reason, and one reason only. I just don't like you, Blaine. So the fact that I'm giving you D's is I'm grading this on a curve, and the curve is people I like and people I don't like. And Blaine, you're one of the people I don't care to see that often or ever again. You took second. Good job. You traded away. You mortgaged the farm, as the pros say. If you were a general manager, you'd be fired. Like I would fire you. I don't even want you on my or around my guys. I don't want you talking to my players. If I was the manager of that team, if you come into my dugout, if you're the general manager, I'm kicking you out. You're gone. If you think you're Brian Cashman, you ain't coming into my dugout. Who's that guy? Who's the guy who got fired by the Yankees? Martin. We'd be fighting the whole time, Blaine, if that was me and you, because we wouldn't see eye to eye. And that's fine. Everybody's different. Some people are nice like me, and some people are like you. It's fine. Hey, we gotta move on. So that's why I gave you that grade. A fun fact about Blaine, that he has never danced one step in his life. Like, you know how hard that is to hear music basically our entire lives. Like our entire lives are surrounded by music, surrounded by noise. He's never like moved like just a little bit, like just like he's never done it. It's amazing. Like you bring him the best place in America on the best day of the world. He could give him $1 million and he still did. Maybe he's doing one of these. Like no music's good enough. The music hasn't been created yet that's good enough to make Blaine dance. That's how preposterous he is, because he just stands there. Like, and it's been bothering me. It's been bothering me since we were about, I don't know, 16. So it's really coming to a crest, coming to a, like, I don't know what the right wording is because I'm not an English major, but like it's coming to a point where I can't take it anymore. Like I don't know how you can never like move a little bit, like even a little bit, because you're too cool. Like music's not good enough. Anyways, moving on to the guy who won. He won the league and he won the playoffs, so I gotta give him his props. Dave Claridge. I give you an A. It wasn't. I gave myself a better grade, but I still give you a solid A. Look, you can't really say much about it. Like I wish my team would have been healthy in a normal year, because I think I could have beat you. But hey, it is what it is. Things happen. I mean, people get steroids and motorcycle accidents. No big deal. I mean, like mine, your team stays out of trouble. Sometimes you know, as a manager, I got to put up with some of that stuff sometimes. And you had better players that stayed out of trouble. Aaron Judge, MVP. What else can you say? So close to winning this last year. But I'm happy your name's on the trophy again. I think Tooney's doing that. So you will have a trophy. I'm sure your wife is just thrilled that you're going to be putting that trophy back up in your house. So enjoy it while it lasts, because I think I'm going to get it next year. So bold prediction. If I was Kirby Puckett, I'd tell my guys, get on my back, guys. Get on my back. We're going to take it this year. But anyways, a fun fact about Dave Claridge. So I think most people in this league, most people in America, like our age-ish, has seen the show The Office. Dave has watched the show, and we got to talking the other day. We were talking, and I go, you know, like, you always have the discussion, like, favorite episode, like, yeah. And I go, Dave, who's your favorite character on The Office? And you know what he said to me? This is what he said to me. I can't believe it. He said, Nellie. Nobody's ever liked Nellie. She's the worst person on the show. She reminds me of the girl, or the guy on that 70s show with the long hair that came in when Eric left. Like, as soon as that show bottomed out. And that's kind of what Nellie happened. When Nellie came in, like, it was like, what is this? Like, she's not funny. She brings nothing to the table. Like, what are we doing here? So, yeah, her favorite character is Nellie. I'm sorry. Pretty preposterous. I don't agree with it at all. She thinks she's terrible. She's a terrible character. She brought nothing to the table. But that's Dave. Dave can't stop laughing when she's on. So that is my rundown. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm sure you didn't. So I think this video is going to run out of time soon, so I'm going to do this quick. The names are already in the hat. This hat right here. See this hat? Just in case you guys are wondering, I'm shaking it up. I will try to keep this on the screen. So here we go. This is for the sixth pick in the draft. Sixth pick in the draft goes to Newman. Remember, guys. I always say, hello, Newman. All right. I hope I got these all in here. I did this in a rush today, Sunday. I'm checked out. So fifth. I'm not looking. I don't want to spill anything. Okay, here we go. Here's 5. Oh, God, just can't catch a break. Just cannot catch a break, Carnes. I think you draft 5th like every year. All right, we're up to four for four. What's that from? That's like a commercial. Okay, fourth pick. What does it say? Modric or Slurtage. Third pick. God, I hope this video doesn't kick off. Third pick is, this is otherwise known as the race for Trey Turner, because I believe he will be the unanimous #1 pick in our draft. This is a Mark Miller. Miller taking third. All right, we're up to two. This is a big one there. This is like Trey Turner, like some bum. I don't know. Haven't looked yet. Okay, which one should I go with? The left one or the right one? Could change someone's whole summer. This could make or break it. Two. This is the second pick. Oh, BJ. Sorry, buddy. You're so close. But I think you get like Lions picks or something. And then the big guy, Christopher Ryan, takes numero uno. So, I believe that concludes the 2023 draft video. I'm sure you guys loved being here for all 26 minutes so far. I know you wish there was another 26. Me too. But hey, all the good things must come to an end. But I will go down the order quick. It's Tooney, BJ, Miller, Modric, Carnes, Newman, Richards, Alberto, Bo, yours truly, Blaine, and then Claridge is the order. We should have that up hopefully next week. And then we will see everybody that can make it at the Algonquin Club on the 18th, maybe? I think that sounds right. I don't know, somewhere like that, give or take a day, because, you know, that traffic in Hibbing, get there early, get a seat at the table. Don't want to be hitting those red lights up in Hibbing. Never get over there, get that roundabout coming into town. You get lost up there. But you know, you're in Nashwauk. Wondering how you get the VidAQ bar. I don't even know. I don't even know what's in Nashwauk. But, okay, 27 minutes and 30 seconds. I am out. See you guys soon.